How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good.
If you guys are getting more and more attention for the way you're playing, how are they kind of handling this spot?
Yeah, they're doing a nice job. The big thing is we don't look behind, we try to look forward, and they are doing a nice job. I'm proud of what they're doing. The reality is, like I've told them, the competition's about to get a little stiffer, as we all know. This 9-game stretch here that we're about to embark on is obviously going to be a challenge. So they're doing a good job. The reality, is we got to play with great technique and fundamentals every single time we're out there, and that's the focus, no matter who we're playing.
What's your theory as to why they've been so successful this year?
They're good players. They're good players. I know that's a simple answer, but they're good players. And, I've just tried to give them the instruction and the motivation to go play their best on Saturdays. And I think when I spoke to everybody early in fall camp, that was one of the questions, what's your focus? My job is to try to get those guys to play their best on Saturdays, plain and simple. And that's what we've tried to do. And, again, it's not about me. I mean, those guys are really good players, and they're playing at a high level because of who they are. So.
How much motivation do you have to provide? Because those guys seem like they're pretty self-motivated.
Yeah, no question they are. But it's just part of the position coach's job, and big picture-wise is, I talk about it all the time, is instruction and motivation. Give them the tools to do it, and then motivate them to do it. And you're right, they're self-driven kids, all those guys. Between Caddis and Rodriguez and Boyer and Elijah Brown got in there the other day, and Skinner, the young guys going along. But they're self-motivated players, and they've done a nice job, obviously, and I'm proud of what they've done, but we got to keep going. We got to keep going.
Consistency has maybe been an issue for Josh in the past. Penalties were a problem at times. What has he done to make this step, especially with those kind of competitive guys?
Yeah. Well, the very first thing, and this is not an exaggeration, in fall camp, when we started our day at 7 a.m. as coaches or 6:30 a.m. as coaches, we walk by that indoor, and that kid's in there catching jugs in fall camp. And then when school starts, all right, his schedule changes a little bit. He's in here mid-morning in between classes, catching jugs and working, And, I've got to pry him out of the film room. After practice, he's usually down there. There he is by the Gatorade. He just got done. I've got to pry him off the field. The guy goes back to being a self-driven player. The guy's self-driven. And, the ball has obviously found him. And, I do believe in the football gods. I do. I promise you, I believe in the football gods. And the reality is the harder you work, usually the ball finds you the harder you work. That's the reality in this game.
We've seen guys in the past who might have been better in the run game, may have been better in the pass game, but these guys seem to have worked on their entire craft.
Absolutely. Big piece of it, right? And that's why I challenge those guys all the time. They all have aspirations of playing in the National Football League, which most of our players do, obviously. And that's what I challenge them. Hey, the guys that make the most money in that league can do both. They don't specialize in one or the other. There's obviously the guys that are, the oddballs that are only great pass catchers or only great blockers. But the reality is the guys that stay around that league for a long time can do both. And that's what we need. That's what our team needs more than anything before all that. So they're doing a nice job in both facets. Yeah.
You guys carve out some time to talk to Dingle on Saturday before the game?
Yeah. I'll be honest. I probably won't. No offense to him. I probably won't. But I'm sure they will. Yeah, I'm sure they will. Obviously, Jordan was did a nice job here long before I was here. Obviously, that's why I say that. I'm sure those guys will reconvene and go to war against each other on Saturday. Nameless, faceless opponent. You know what I mean?
South Carolina's got some pretty good edge rushers.
No question. Yeah.
Do you think maybe the tight ends may have to chip a little more this week than in the past?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, a piece of the plan, like it is every single week. The reality is, in our league, as we know, they're all good rushers, and even some of the guys we played, Toledo and Eastern Michigan, had good rushers. And so, there's always an emphasis of that if the scheme calls for that, obviously. But, it's a challenge for sure. It's a challenge for our tight ends. It's a challenge for our tackles. Those rushers are good players. And they're not just good in the pass game. They're good in the run game, too. They're really, really good players. And so it's a big challenge for us as tight ends and obviously the tackles as well.
Josh shared this story on the radio show about the champion bull rider.
Yeah.
What's the origins of this story? Why does it appeal to you so much?
Speaking of motivation, my motivation tactics are out there. That's from Bill Parcells' book. It's an excerpt from Bill Parcells' book from a while back that I read and have carried that different places I've coached. But it just talks about a guy named Tough Hedeman, who's a championship bull rider, and he wins the championship, whatever it is in that particular sport, obviously. And the next week, the story is the next week he picks up his rope and he goes to the next spot on the circuit. And they say, hey, why didn't you go to Disney World? Why didn't you celebrate? And he says, hey, the bull doesn't care. The next time I jump on the bull's back, it doesn't care if I've won, lost, or drawn. I obviously have to, not let him buck me off my back. And so that's just the approach we've taken, whether it's good or bad. Hey, you have a bad day, then the next bull doesn't care. You have a good day, the next bull doesn't care. It's going to try and buck you off its back. And that's just the consistency that we've tried to carry in the room. And it's just been something we've kind of hung our hat on here the past few months. So.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.